there. Sorry I'm a bit late, but I had to go and find the reprobates. They were running around the garden and they didn't seem to want to come in. Oh, the light's wrong again. Ooh, hi Chris. The light's a bit strange. Oh, that's funny. Oh, it's telling me one person. It's telling me one person's in, so somebody's in disguise because there's two of you. And it's only telling me one's in. Hi, Nathan. I've just been trying. Hi, Shell. Just been trying to find the dogs. They were galloping around the garden being silly sods, so I had to go and find them. Hi, Ray. Hi, June. Yeah, the dogs were being daft, and I don't know where they are now. We're no doubtly going to get very disrupted tonight. Hi, Greek Stitcher. Hi, hello, Esther. Hi, Munchkin Heaven. Oh, thank you, Chris. Yeah. Oh, you love me colours today. Well, for those of you who didn't watch my video, hi, Pauline. This was made by my mum. Yeah. I've kept it all this time, even though for a long time it was way too small. But I wasn't going to give it away because it's one of the last things my mum knitted for me. So I've had it in the cupboard for about 20 years or more. Anyway, since I've lost weight, I thought I'd try it on again. It's still a little bit tiny, but I'm in it, yeah. Now, my mum, have you seen the tension? My mother's tension was so even. She was absolutely a brilliant knitter. Sadly, I didn't take after her for that. I can knit, yes, I can. But my tension's all over the place, yeah. Hi, Julie. Hi, only me. Yes, she had a perfect tension, my mother. I didn't inherit it, let's just say. I did not inherit it from my mum. Hi, Sean. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas at Sean's because she's got a, oh God, the creatures are, excuse me, stop fighting. Behave yourself. Can't you see people are listening to you two? People are listening as if she cares. Yeah. Look, Trixie, people are looking at you. People are saying what a naughty girl you are. Yeah. It's going to be one of them nights. I can feel it in my water. Yeah. Oh, thank you, June. Hi, so what's knitting? Yeah, my mum. Oh God, she was. Look at that workmanship. Look at that. Honestly, you would think it was done by machine, and it wasn't. It was done by my mummy. Why do you think I kept it all these years? Why do you think I wouldn't part with it, even though it was way too small? Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah. I've got a cardigan that she made me as well in white cotton that I treasure because I'm terrified of it going a funny colour, you know what I mean, with white. So I always wash it on its own and take care of it and everything like that. I'll show it to you one day. I've also got a gorgeous well, not a full length, 3/4 length coat that my aunt knitted for me in Aran weight wool, Aran pattern. She was like her sister, which was my mum, an absolute perfect tension knitter. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Ray. Yeah, I wish I could claim it was mine, but I can't. I can't even attempt it. The sad thing is, I must have put it somewhere in the sunshine. So it's actually got little faded patches on it, which is heartbreaking, really. But I'm going to wear it, faded patches or no. You know, turquoise is one of the worst colours for fading, actually. Mm-hmm. It does fade rather badly, yeah. As I found out to my every time I put anything in the window that was vaguely turquoise, it used to fade, yes. Well, I've recovered, thankfully. As you know, I had the dreaded IBS. But hey ho, I will have other birthdays in other years, and I will celebrate my birthday just a couple of days late, that's all. So, it's just one of them things sent to irk you, isn't it? But there was no sense in my going out for a meal when I wouldn't have enjoyed it. So I just said to my son, I said, no, I don't think it was a really waste of money. I would have left it. So we're going on Sunday instead. So I'm having a double birthday. I'm not the Queen. I've got two birthdays. Well, she did have two birthdays. She had her official birthday and she had her real birthday. Yeah. So that's me. Hi, Lydia. Have they settled down now? Well, one's in front of the fire. Little one always goes in front of the fire. And I've no idea where Rosie's gone. She'll be somewhere around. Ah, they bark at anything. Well, I should say Rosie barks at anything and everything. Because she sort of hasn't realised that they're not coming back tonight, my son and daughter-in-law. So she thinks that every car that passes is them coming back again. She's used to them going and leaving them with me. She's not bothered about that at all. But she thinks they're going to come back any minute now. But sadly, I've got news for her, they're not. We won't tell her that bit. She'll be fine. The little one will sleep with me. Notice the joy on my face. The little one does not sleep. She treads all over you. And to say she's only small, she weighs a ton. She's got feet that go. And she tramples all over you during the night till she finally settles, yeah. And then she'll wake up 2 or 3 times during the night and you'll find her on your pillow or in your hair or something. Oh. How on earth they sleep with her, I do not know. They should have put her on her own bed from being a puppy. She's just a pain in the backside, yeah. Still, it's only for one night. I can put up with it for one night. I just pray they never go away for a fortnight. Otherwise, she's going to have to go in a cage or something, yeah. So, oh, hello, Charlie Berry from Granny D Radio. Early tonight, or is it me that's late? Yeah, I usually get the Granny D raid a little bit later on. Yeah. Hi, Connie. Yeah, the squirrel raid usually comes in a little bit later. Oh, I've gone all hot. I've lit the fire. I've had the central heating on, but don't tell anybody. But I've lit the fire. Can you see it just about there? So, I'm sorry I did actually, because I'm getting a bit hot now. You're listening while you sort the washing. Well, if I'd have known, I'd have left you mine. Yeah, I did mine today. And naughty of naughties, I had to put the tumble dryer on. I did some washing earlier in the week and it's barely dry now. So I did put the radiators on and stuffed my washing on the radiator. So shh, don't tell them, will you? Don't tell them. But what can you do? You've got to dry your laundry, haven't you, somewhere or other? And with not having the heating on, I had it in front of the fire actually, because my son actually asked me, did I want a rack put in above the fire? If you remember them, the ones with the pulleys that came down. I would have said yes, but it would have been a bit messy. Yeah. Yeah, we've got no choice, have we, Sean? You try your best to dry the washing. I tried to dry it in front of the fire, but it dried it a bit. It dried the thin things, but it didn't dry the thicker things at all. No. So, being as it was towels and dressing gown today, it had to be the tumble dryer, yeah. Because big bath towels, the thick ones, they don't dry, do they? How long is it till spring, till the sun comes out? You notice they put the price of everything up in the winter. They didn't put it up in the summer when you're not using it, did they? Oh, I can hear the wind coming down the chimney. Oh my goodness me, it's roaring down the chimney. Not bothering Trixie. She's sat in front of it. I don't think you can see her. No, you can't see her. She's sat in front of it. The warmer, the better. She doesn't care. I don't know where. As I say, I have no idea where Trixie is. She's normally on the sofa, but she's disappeared. Oh, she's on the doormat. That's her place to go if she thinks they're coming back soon. She sits on the doormat. Inside, not the outside. We're not that mean. The inside doormat, yeah. Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I can't get back into my crochet. I really can't. I keep taking it backwards and forwards to knit club with me, and sadly, the enthusiasm is missing, you know. I do this regularly, but not usually for longer than a few days. I don't know about anybody else. You just go off things, don't you? And I'm even thinking, hi, Granny D. Hi, Nana Michelle. I'm actually thinking about knitting, which is strange for me to think about knitting. But I thought, well, if I knit myself a hat, maybe, you know, I might get back into the swing or something or other. Because I do like knitted hats. I mean, I know you can crochet them, but, you know, I do like knitted hats, yeah. Although I have ordered another one off eBay. eBay Wonder, that's me. It's got fur there and it comes up over here. What are you doing? Rosie, what are you doing? Rosie is eating the doormat. Rosie, don't eat the doormat, chicken. Oh, good girl. She's coming now. Oh, I know, he's been sick, yeah. Oh, I bet it's not as bad as Trixie, Denise. You've got the dreaded flu. Any scooter update? No. I'm in the land of the no. I even got wet through the other day. That's how much I hate that other scooter. My son couldn't believe I didn't go out in it in the pouring rain. Yeah. Ooh, Nana Michelle's got her buddy back. Why? What happened to your buddy, Nana Michelle? Did you lose your buddy? Your son's got, oh yeah, G's got the flu, hasn't he? Yeah. I think it depends how severe it is. You get it. I mean, some people bounce back after a couple of days, other people are flat on their back for a fortnight. I haven't had actual flu for years, so I can't really say because I have my jabs, you know. Yeah. I have my flu jabs. They do that because, you know, I have a CPAP machine and breathing difficulties and all that jazz. So they make sure I have my flu jab, yeah. Touch wood, it seems to be working because I can't remember having flu for years and years and years. You get the odd cold, but it's not the same, is it? You know, people who say, "Oh, I've got the flu," when they haven't, they've got a bad cold. But if you get the flu, it flattens you, absolutely flattens you. You can't do anything. You're good for nothing. You're like a wrung out dishcloth, aren't you? You know, it's flu is completely different to a cold. Yeah. People who say, "Oh, I've got the flu," no, you haven't. You've got a bad cold. Yeah, get over it. Oh dear. As I say, thankfully, I have not had flu. Having said that, I might get it now, but I haven't had flu for a long time. She's supposed to come back after ice skating. Oh, right. Sure. You never take advantage of time. No, that's best way to be, Nana Michelle. We never know what's round the corner. We never know. Yeah, the flu is terrible. You're right there. It really is bad. Yeah, head colds are bad enough. Sinusitis, yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't see my great grandchildren. They come whenever. You know, I don't really see them. I never saw them when I lived near them, so no chance now I've moved away. Oh dear. Yeah, the flu just knocks you sideways, doesn't it? You know, it's just, it's like somebody takes all the energy out of you and you have to lie down and sob. That's what flu's like. Whereas a cold, you can sort of say, oh, oh I've got a cold, I've got a cold, but you can't with flu because flu just goes and you're out for the count. You know, there's no, you know, sympathy, touting for sympathy, which people do with a cold. They're like, oh, I've got a cold. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's awful. No, if you got flu, you're just in bed and end of story, really. Yeah. I can remember having the flu. Oh, God, it was when my son was younger. And he's going, are you making any dinner? And I'm like, no, go away. Just get some money out of my purse and go to the chippy. No way I could have got up and cooked for him. I mean, luckily he was quite self-sufficient, so he could do, you know, odd things at the time. That's long before he went to catering college, of course. Now he can rustle up anything, you know, there's nothing that phases him anymore, you know. Best thing ever, Faddy Eaters, that. Best thing ever. Oh, was it you, Munchkin Heaven? Yeah, I posted it off yesterday. I sent it first class, so it should arrive. I thought it might have arrived today, but you know what posts like. I've had no post for the last 3 days, and I know that people will have sent me birthday cards, my family, and not got anything. So I know the post's a bit dipsy. Yeah. No scooter news. No, no, no. Yeah, when mum goes down with flu, the whole world stops, doesn't it? Yeah, I know. Because my ex was no good with flu, no good at all. I can remember having flu when I was with him and banging on the floor. He's going, "What do you want?" I said, "I want a drink." He said, "I brought you one." I said, "You brought me one about 4 hours ago." I said, "I want another one." He's going, "All right, okay." Hopeless he was, hopeless. When my tree going up, whenever my daughter-in-law finds the Christmas decorations, because they're upstairs in the sort of crawl space, the loft space, or whatever you want to call it. So I'll have to wait while she brings all the decorations down again, yeah. Hi, Granny D. Squirrel raid. Yeah, some of the squirrels were in about 5 minutes ago. They took me by surprise. They were quite early. Oh, you're putting Granny in detention? That's not nice, Nana Michelle. Yeah. She might have had to have a trip to the ladies' room or something. That's not nice saying she's got detention. It's me that should be in detention because I'm naughty. I saw the pictures of you on Facebook, Sean, putting your tree up, putting us all to shame, getting your tree up. Who else has got the tree up? Anybody else got the tree up? To me, November, the tree is in wherever. December, I'll think about getting it out. We'll probably put ours up about the middle of December, I would think. Because my son's a little bit about humbug about Christmas. It's my daughter-in-law that gets everything down. I did buy a tree last year, if you remember, because I got rid of my tree. And the first Christmas we were here, I mean, the house was in such a state. Putting a tree up would have been a bit ridiculous, really, you know. Nana Michelle, what a thing to say about Granny D. You got your tree up, a small ceramic one, and you're done, yeah. Our tree will have to go up soon because the grandchildren will come and then they'll wonder why we haven't got any trimmings. So, my great grandchildren, that is. my daughter-in-law's grandchildren, they'll wonder why we don't have a tree up. So we do that for. My ex-husband was the worst. Oh my goody aunt. He used to stick cotton wool balls and stuff like snow on my big bay window. And then I was scraping them off with a razor blade till about March, because I don't know what he put them on with. I think he put them on with super glue. Couldn't get the glue off the window. He used to go crazy. We used to have decorations across the streamers, balloons. He used to go bonkers when it was Christmas. And we had things galloping across the window, like Rudolph the reindeer and his sleigh and presents. And oh, dear me. Did he ever go to town? He never actually got as far as putting lights outside because he was scared of heights. So thankfully. Yeah, next door but one's pretty. It's got big snowflakes all lit up in white. And it's got the eaves done in blue. I keep meaning to take a photo, but it's been raining. And I'm not going out. Yeah. Should put a compression pad. Oh, I hate them things. I hate them things, yeah. When you're young and you're slim and you think you've got a tummy and you buy those suck yourself in pants because you think you've got a tummy. Well, hey ho, I have now got a tummy and I don't wear them. It ruins your meal out, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You can't eat much. It goes as far as your waistband and it doesn't go any further, does it? There's nothing worse than sitting there in a pair of tight support things, ruining your meal. I don't care. I let it all hang out, When you get to my age, it doesn't really matter. Hi, Jane. Jane with a new car, Jane. You want to send him out for a new coat more often? Jane sent her son out for a new coat and he came back with a car. Did he get the car for the same price as the coat? I don't think so. Yeah. This. Oh, dear. I sold a baby's outfit and apparently I sold it to one of the ladies on here. Hang on, well, I have to scroll back and find out who it was now. I can't go back that far. Yeah, I sold a little baby's outfit, little pink outfit, yeah. It's on its way. It was sent first class, but the post is a bit... We've had no post for about the last 3 days. They save it all up and then they throw it through the letterbox in a big chunk. As I say, I was expecting birthday cards, at least off my niece. And nothing arrived, so I think everything's stuck in there. They're not on strike, are they? I don't think they are. You're going to get your hands busy after fresh coffee. Can I give you my crocheting, Granny D? Because I'm not doing any. I'm in a slump. I don't know why I go off things usually for a day or so, but then I revive. But I've been about 2 weeks now. I don't know why I've been. Yeah, I've got a slump. A real slump. I mean, I went to my knit club on Wednesday and I finished up. Oh, hi, Marilyn. You live close to Elvis Presley. Oh, blimey. I hope you don't really live close to Elvis Presley. You mean where he used to live? Yeah, so I finished up showing a lady how to do a granny square. So it wasn't all lost, was it? Yeah. Oh, it's Munchkin. Thank you, Munchkin. Yeah. Every sale is one less in the shed. As I said before, I don't want my Etsy shop anymore. I just need to sell what I've got. Yeah. So that's why everything's reduced. Everything on Etsy is reduced. Yeah. I just want the space. I want my crafting shed to be a crafting shed and not a dumping ground. Well, not actually a dumping ground, but you know what I mean, a storage shed, yeah. Ah, Royal Mail was striking Thursday, Friday. That's probably why we've got no mail. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why. I'll probably get my birthday card Monday now then. Maybe Monday. Who knows? No, well, it's the thought that counts. I mean, I didn't really celebrate my birthday on my birthday because, you know, the dreaded IBS. But, I mean, it didn't know it was my birthday, did it? It could have picked any other day of the week, but it had to pick then. But hey-ho. Hopefully I've got many more birthdays to come. So what's one day out of many? It's no good getting upset about it, is it? You know, it just happened that way. So, you know, always look on the bright side of life. Do. Yeah. I just took myself to bed with my little hot water, well, not hot water bottle, but my little hot thing, yeah. Oh boy, I'm glad you're not in this room. For a little French bulldog, she doesn't half whiff when she lets one go. Oh. Sorry about that. Rosie! 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 What's the matter? It's okay. There's nobody there, darling. Come on, Trixie. Trixie, come on, good girl. Oh, good girl. She's back. Miss Whiffy Bottom is back. French bulldogs. Oh. If you've never had one, they're eye-watering when they break wind. Oh, dear me. No, Rosie didn't like the smell. That's probably why she barked and disappeared. It is very eye-watering, Shan. It's worse than a man who's been on the Guinness. Oh, dear. I don't know how the family go on with her in the camper van. I mean, it must. It must be really strong in a camper van. I hope they have the windows open. Oh, dearie me. I've got the door open. It's not dispersing. I bet you're glad it's not smelly vision, aren't you? I bet you're so glad. It's only me that's got to put up with it. Well, Christine's as bad. I used to think Buster was bad. I had a boxer dog that was bad. But this one, Rosie isn't bad at all. She occasionally, you know, but Rosie's not bad at all. But this little one, oh, she's like a little wind machine. Oh, it's dreadful. Oh, dear. She's been out about, I don't know how many times. I've had to bring them in because it was raining. Rosie'd stay out all night, playing in the back garden, getting up to mischief, doing all sorts of things. But it was raining, so I brought them in. They've got a security light out there now, so, you know, they like it because they can see what they're doing. They can see themselves getting into mischief, going barking at the dogs next door, barking at the people next door when they come out to the dustbin. Oh, it's fantastic fun. I bet the people love us, you know. Because when, you know, Rosie gets on one, by goodness me, she gets on one. She never stops. And you're like, it's okay, Rosie, there's nobody there. Thank you, Rosie. Good girl for letting me know there's somebody there, but there isn't anybody there. Thank you. After a bit, Harry will shout, shut up. After we do all the nice, don't do that, Rosie. That's a good girl. We do that for a bit, and then the son just bellows out, shut up, at the top of his voice. That usually stops her. But I don't like her. Oh, it's frozen. Oh, I don't like yelling at her because she's a very nervous dog. Yeah. So I really don't like yelling at her too much. Yeah. So, yeah, my sister-in-law was going to come with my niece this weekend, but it's not a good idea with Rosie. Well, not when I'm looking after her. Because she frightens my sister-in-law to death because my sister-in-law's a little bit scared of dogs, and Rosie takes advantage. Rosie's like, hey ho, somebody doesn't like me, I'll go and sit right next to her and show her my teeth. Mm. So my sister-in-law's, oh. Rosie thinks he's fabulous. In any case, with the stomach being the way it was, my niece would have wanted me to take me out for lunch, and I thought, no, it's a waste of money and time because I wouldn't have eaten anything. So why does the Royal Mail strike so much? They want more money, obviously, like everybody else, like the nurses are going on strike and different things. Everybody wants more money. The politicians get big rises, but nobody else does. I mean, the pensioners are on this block again, aren't they? Your rent's going up in January. Oh, dear. Everything goes up but money. Like I said, politicians can award themselves big rises. They already get concessions, don't get me going with everything like the council taxes and the rates and everything. Whereas, the poor at the bottom, the ones on the minimum wage, the ones who are on a benefit, they just get poorer, It's the way everywhere. It's not just in the UK. It's the way everywhere, isn't it? Yeah. The electric and the gas are just going up astronomically. I mean, I've put the central heating on today because A, I wanted to, dry the washing. B, I wasn't feeling too good, so I wanted to stay nice and warm. And you're frightened of doing it. You really are. Yeah. Oh, the Post wants the weekend off, does it? Yeah, I thought they did. I thought they already did have the weekend off, Nathan. No, it's everywhere in the world. Everything is going up. The rich get rich and the poor get poorer. Yeah. When you see these big corporations, people, like Amazon and Starbucks and people like that have billions and billions of money. And, well, I hope he paid for it with his own money, Munchkin. Yeah. I know. But hey ho, what can we do, At least with Richie Sunak, if he manages our money as well as he manages his own money, then we might get somewhere. I just distrust people running the country who've been bankrupt and things like that. You're thinking if they can't manage their own money and they went bankrupt, what they're doing looking after the countries? That's what worries me. I'd rather have somebody who knows how to manage money, even if it is his own or his wife's or whatever. Yeah. But I would sooner trust somebody like that than trust somebody who's, No, I'm not sure about the £1 million statues. No. But then again, can we believe everything that the press tells us? The press gets a bee in their bonnet about a certain person. And they start making stories up. So you never know whether things are true or they're not, yeah, maybe the wife's buying it. I shouldn't think that anybody be buying £1 million statue to put in something house, and they may be moving out of it when there comes the election. I can't see that happening myself. Unless it's a movable one, she can take it with her when she goes. I certainly wouldn't be putting £1 million statue in a rented property, that is for sure. Yeah. I don't even think, I'll never have £1 million, so that question will never arise. But I wouldn't put a expensive statue in any house that I was renting because the landlord could tell you at any moment, I'm selling the house and whatever. Yeah. You believe in your statue behind, Are you going to start crocheting your statues? Yeah. I wonder how Shad's going on with his little house, his tiny house. Anybody heard from him? I know he moved into it, didn't he? I would get my mojo, but I don't think I want to crochet statues now. There's some fantastic things crocheted on top of, mailboxes and stuff like that. I've never got the patience to do anything like that. People who crochet all these fabulous things and stick them. I'd be frightened somebody to steal them anyway. I'd put all the hours and hours of effort into them, and then he's worth twice a King Charles. King Charles has got enough money, let's face it. Yeah. Chris, do you honestly think that I would sell $1 million crochet statue on Etsy? I don't think so. I might send £1 one if I put it on Etsy. I mean, what would you stuff them with? One lot of rain and they'd all come shunting down. Yeah, the Etsy fees, they took 25% off me, anything. Off my last sale, they took 25% off me, so hey ho, you have to be grateful for any kind of money these days, don't you? Yeah. Hello, Donna, how are you? Yeah, we're talking about crochet statues and £1 million statues here. If I crocheted a statue, I'd probably get £1 for it, something like that, yeah. And then Etsy would take 25% off me, so I'd get 75p. And then I'd have to pay the postage out of that. There ain't no justice in this world for little people. Not just me, it's anybody. Any small business person just doesn't get any help these days. Etsy was supposed to be founded for little crafters when it first started off, and it was. When it first started off, the percentages were quite small, but of course they got bought out and they got bought over by a big conglomeration who want more money and more money and more money. So now it's just whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it was the same when I didn't take any of my garments to the last craft show because everybody loved them. People tried them on, said how wonderful they were, how they loved it all. Then they put them back on the rail and they walked away. Yeah. 3.5 of sales. Why did they take 25% off me then, Shan? That's what I got. I sold something for £35 and got £26 and 5p. So that was a lot more than 3.5%, wasn't it? There's all these hidden costs they don't tell you about. Oh, when it started, yeah, it was great when it started. I sold loads of things when it started. Oh, gosh. Well, somebody does hand-dyed yarn. Somebody said, how much is it? And she said, well, it starts at £17 a hank and goes all the way up to £32. Now, I know it's beautiful and I know it's lovely and it probably is the bee's knees. Oh, Red Heart Unforgettable. I've still got a couple of balls left in Dragonfly, which I love. It probably is worth it because of all the effort they put in hand dyeing things. And but it's not for the likes of me unless I treat myself to one ball. I could never make a sweater with it. I'd be terrified of washing it. Terrified of wearing it in case it rubbed up, fluffed up, pilled up, whatever. I was watching a lady today. She's called Crochet ADHD, I think she's called. And she was saying, how come her jumper's all rubbed up? And they do. When you think about it, this is 20 years old, this. There's not one pill on it. Not one pill. Look at that. Not one pill. I can guarantee if I bought today's modern yarn and made this again, it would be rubbed up all up the front there. Yeah, Etsy charges the fee on the whole amount, postage as well. And then I've got to pay the postage on top. Yeah. It's it's just unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, if they don't dye it properly and set it properly, it can run like mad. Um, you know, yeah, I do buy patterns from Etsy. I'll hold my hand up, I do, because they're great if you want any vintage patterns or patterns that are no longer available. Because some people will photocopy, and I must confess I have bought photocopies. I've bought copies of patterns because they sell them as a PDF. But if I really, really want a pattern, but having said that, I will, if it's a pattern that's by a designer, that's on Etsy, I will pay the extra for the proper pattern if you with me. Yeah, I know you get the PDF and all that jazz, but you are buying from the actual designer. But I bought quite a lot of vintage patterns that I know I wouldn't get anywhere else. I mean, you may even find this pattern on Etsy, who knows? Um, I bought some patterns I've had in the past and lost, because this was one of my mum's patterns, so don't ask me what it was. I don't know. Mum probably got rid of the pattern, I don't know. So, but I know I haven't got it. And no, they don't sell hard copies on Etsy. It's nearly all PDFs. But having said that, some of the designers, what I object to though with the designers is paying about $10 for a pattern. I don't mind if they're like 20 pages long and they've got, pictures and explanations of every single step of every single way. But when you pay $10 and you get 2 sheets and they're written by a chimpanzee, you know what I mean? I really, really object to that. I bought a pattern the other day from a headband, and I keep getting messages from Etsy saying to do, what's your experiences, give them a whatever. And I won't, because the pattern's wrong. She's been told the pattern's wrong, and yet she still sells it as is. She's been told twice by 2 different people that the pattern's wrong. So I thought, well, I am not giving her a thumbs up. No way, because the pattern is wrong. It's not so much that it's wrong. She's got her asterisks in the wrong place, so it doesn't read. I mean, I tried to do, it was only a headband. She charged me about $3 for it, £3 for it. And I said to my friend, I know I'm being stupid. I said, but I can't get this to work out because, I have these brain fart moments, you know what I mean? And she tried it and she said, no, you are right. She said, it is wrong. She says, and she's been told it's wrong by 2 different people. So there's no way I'm going to give her a, what do you call them, a verification, how you're supposed to say how much you like getting it. Because, no, I don't want other people to buy it, And yeah, I'm not that nasty to say, you need to check your pattern, it's wrong, yeah. Although I should really. She's charging £3 for it and she hasn't fixed it, Hard copies, you only really get hard copies from a wool shop or a yarn shop. Or you can buy hard copies sometimes on eBay, yeah. But by and large, nearly everything's a PDF these days. Yeah. And it is hard for me because I don't have like a laptop or anything like that. So I either have to print it out or sit in front of my PC, and sit and work on it, At least if I'm following a YouTube, I do have my little, tablet, Fire, whatever they call it, Kindle thing. I prefer it on paper, but I refuse to print out 20 pages, Sean. No. And I no longer have the Office on this PC because you had to pay to get Office, to put Office on. Yeah. What I used to do was take out all the pictures, yeah, and just, print off the actual words. But I don't have Office, and I'm not buying Office to put on my PC. I'm not doing it, no. And if I put it on Notepad, it won't print from the Notepad, so yeah. That sounds like hard work, Chris. That sounds like I'd have to go somewhere. Lazy. Hello, I'm lazy. Yeah. I do go to the library, actually. I do go to the library on a Monday, but I suppose I could do that, yeah. But did I tell you I've got a new camera? It's only like my old camera. I haven't used it yet. Yeah. I haven't read the instruction manual, but don't tell Ian that I have. It's very, very much like my... What was that? Oh, it was the dog. It's very, very much like my old camera. In fact, you would swear it was my old camera. What is she doing? It's Rosie. But it's new. And my other camera's about 6 years old, so it was having moments. Can you see her down there? No, you can't see her, can you? No, you can see that black thing there. Is Rosie curled up? Yeah, next to in between the table and the. There she is. If you can see her, I don't think you can. But she just clumped. And you know how wonderful IKEA units are. It went. The wonderful IKEA, made out of cardboard or whatever they're made out of. Yeah. Yeah, oh, it's still there. It's still there, Donna. Kelly stitched it all together. Look, there it is. It's all still there on the back of my sofa. I wouldn't part with that for anything. Oh, I do. Yeah, it is used. It's well used. It was used when I could drag it away from the dog when I had it. Buster loved it. And actually, Gigi had a tiny little blanket made up of the leftover squares. I hope they still kept it after Gigi passed away, but I would imagine they would, yeah. He had a little one because he used to love my blanket so much that when the leftover squares, Kelly said, "What do you want me to do with them?" And I said, "Can you make a little blanket for Gigi?" So Gigi had his own, yeah. Yeah. Oh, he was... Oh. I meet a little dog on the seafront. It's called Sunny, like the sunshine, Sunny. And he is adorable. He's half the size of Gigi. He's a tiny little thing. And whenever I meet him, he tries to climb on my scooter. And I keep saying to his own, I'm going to take him home now. Yeah. I would have loved a Chihuahua, and I'd just gravitate towards Chihuahuas. Absolutely. I love Chihuahuas, but we got the French Bulldog instead, which was a poor swap. Poor swapped. I know you've got so many, haven't you, Sharon, to stitch up? Yeah. I love dogs, but I also like cats as well. I mean, I can't have a cat because Rosie would chase. She would chase it. She doesn't like cats at all. Yeah. I mean, I was very fortunate with all of the dogs that they all got on. Because I used to have my son's 2 dogs when they went on holiday. That was Sky and Poppy. They were Rottweilers. And then I had Buster, who was a Boxer Cross. And then I had Gigi, who I looked after. And then I also had the little Cocker Spaniel from next door called Buddy. And the other little dog called Poppy that was a little Westie. I think she was a Westie. She was a terrier of some description. So on some days I would have like the 6 of them. Yeah. All because the back door was always open, as you know, because I had my garden backed onto my next door neighbour, and they used to come through the hedge. Yeah. So they would come through. So some days I would have 6 of them. And you think that it would be mayhem, wouldn't you? 2 big dogs, well, 3 big dogs, a medium one and 2 small. And yet they absolutely got on, yeah. They got on like a house on fire. There was never any squabbling at all. The only one who used to squabble actually was Gigi. He was a little monkey. He could start a fight on his own, yeah. But yeah, I had one cat, I think, when I first got Buster. I had one cat left. The other cat had passed away by that time. But yeah, I follow two staffies on Facebook called Buster and Mia. And one of them's just had his birthday party and he was 16, which is doing very well, isn't he? And the other little girl is 14. So I follow them. He rescued them when they were quite elderly. You know, they were like in a rescue situation where nobody wanted to adopt them. And he took them on. He took on one that was 12, and I think he took the other one on when he was about 12 or 13, which I think is a wonderful thing to do when you're taking on elderly dogs that have health issues. You know, he's, you know, I follow him. I love it. And I love the guy with all the chihuahuas, of course. Is he called Big Guy, Little Dogs or something? He's got about 30 little chihuahuas. I absolutely adore watching him with the chihuahuas. And I also like watching Asher House. He doesn't adopt them. He takes dogs in and hopefully gets them sorted out, and then he rehabilitates them. So he doesn't always keep his dogs in Asher House. You know, I just love that. You like Asher House as well. Yeah, he's great, isn't he? Somebody complained because he never wears his shirt and he's got this really hairy chest, hasn't he? What the heck? He's such a nice guy. Hi, Ethan. Oh, you don't need to twiddle your thumbs, Sean. You got to sew them squares together. I know it's a thankless task, girl, but you know what to do, won't you? Yeah. Does Karen still do the ones for, what's it called? Oh, those, oh, I can't remember what it's called, that were collecting blankets. Mm. Oh, gosh, I can't think of its name. I know Karen used to do a lot, didn't she? So you've sewn a lot of blankets up, I think, as well, haven't you, Sean? They collect squares and blankets, and I can't think of their name now. It's a charity, isn't it? Oh, brain's gone. Brain's gone. I know you'll remember it, Sean. You'll remember who Karen used to make the blankets for. But she's moved now, hasn't she? She's not with, oh, do you know, me, names, gone. Hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. And I can't say it's modern. I can't say it's old age because I've always been like this. I've always had for names. When I was at school, I couldn't do dates either. You know, history was all completely over my head. My son, no, it wasn't my son, it was my brother. My brother was a history buff. And he tried his best with me when I was about 16, you know, with my no, it wasn't GCSEs, it was GCEs back in the day. And he could not understand why things would not stay in my brain. Kings, queens, dates. And he used to say to me, you know, just think about it, just remember it. And oh, Long Gone Leicester. Yeah, that's a spin-off, isn't it, from that other show he did? Yeah. The Rescue Farm. Yeah, he's got another. There's two programs now. He's got the Longhorn Leicester and he's got the other one as well. He's got two things going at once, yeah. The one where he's got the emus and stuff, yeah. Are the emus or ostriches or something, yeah. Something like that, yeah. Oh dear, I watch the most bizarre things. I really do. Yeah, I really do. Ostriches are they? Yeah. I get mixed up between ostriches and emus. They look alike sometimes. That's one thing I don't watch the Ghostbusters now. I always kind of think they're a bit fake. You know, when the whoo, there's a noise and stuff like that, and I'm thinking it's just the cameraman rustling something or other. It's just all fake, you know. It's like those, talking to people in the audience. I've got somebody here by the name of John. I mean, somebody in the audience has got a husband called John, don't you? You know what I mean? It's all kerfuffle, yeah. And Leon the Lobster. I haven't watched that one. I do watch a lot of the animal ones. I watch another one is he called Pinky or something? He's they call Piggy. He's white. He's deaf and blind little dog. He's so white. He's pink. Yeah, and he's called Piggy. I think he goes around schools and that with his little jumper on and that, and he does really well considering he's deaf and blind. They have to do everything by touching his nose and touching him in a certain way. But he navigates his way around and he manages to go outside, to do his duties like with all the other little dogs. He does very well to say he can't see. But he's got no fur, so he's always got a jacket on and they always have him bundled up. Yeah. And then I watch another one. It's a boxer dog. I think it's called Tony or something. I tend to watch more animal things than I do watch people, actually. I do watch certain people, but I don't watch the knitting ones because I'm not that fussed about knitting. I do it, and I can knit, but I don't like watching programs where they're only making socks and stuff. I get a bit bored. And I get a bit bored with hauls, big hauls, yeah. Get a bit bored with that. Because if they're American, I can't get the wool anyway, so it just infuriates me when I see something that I might like, and I can't get it anyway, yeah. Yeah. I did watch a program one time where somebody had sent a box of English sweets to this family. In fact, this family lived in a bus or something. And they were trying out English sweets. Somebody had bought a massive big box and sent it to them. And I thought they were extremely rude people. It's all right putting it in your mouth and saying you don't like it, but spitting it on the ground? I thought, no, you're in a campsite. There could be ants about. There could be all sorts. And they were going, yeah, and spitting these sweets on the ground. And I thought, there was no need for that. You could have got a tissue and put it in your mouth and just put it on the table and put it in the bin. I thought those children were really, really badly brought up children. Yeah, the holes are too much when you see people buying shed loads of stuff and you're thinking, oh gosh, no, that's so greedy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like bad table manners. You're right there, don't I? I don't like anybody who, oh. Do you remember those videos where they call mukbang? Where you were watching people eat and they were eating with their mouths open and all, ugh. And the food was slopping about. Oh, no. I once finished with a boyfriend when I was about 16 because of his table manners. He hadn't got any, yeah. He hadn't got table manners and I was appalled. I mean, I really thought he was gorgeous. He was nice looking. He was everything. And we went to his mum and dad's and she made us some dinner. And he was sat facing me and, oh dear, his table manners were absolutely appalling. And that was it. Oh, I just couldn't go out with him anymore. I thought, no. said, what did you finish with him for? I said, his table manners were appalling, Mother. Oh, the Hoof Doctor, yeah. I watch him. He's from Scotland, isn't he? I like that music at the beginning, yeah. Oh, it is gross watching hooves, but there's something fascinating about him fixing these cows, yeah. I got into it because he lives right round the corner from Sue. Those of you who know Sue, the Hoof Doctor, Graham, Hoof GP, as he calls something, the Hoof Doctor. He lives right round the corner from Sue in Scotland. And so she got me watching him, or I got her watching him, whatever it was, whichever way around it was. And all the little country lanes he goes down, like, on the way to the farms, they're all around where she lives. So it's interesting to me to watch, because obviously I've not been able to go and see Sue yet. A partner, husband, whatever you want to call him, he's had really bad problems with his back and he's waiting for a major spinal operation. So at the moment he's in a wheelchair. So he's sleeping in one bedroom and she's sleeping in another, which means if I go up there isn't a bedroom for me. So I'm waiting until he's had his operation and then, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, he's doing all right, though, isn't he, that Graham? Have you seen the cars he's got in his garage? He's got some fantastic cars, hasn't he? And his house, the kitchen alone is fantastic in his house. He must be making some pennies doing his cow trimming. But still, to each his own. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to be standing next to a cow's backside when he's been covered in that, hasn't he, a few times. I can imagine his poor wife when he goes home stinking the wrong end of a cow, let's just say. I'd have him. You have to shower in the garage, love. You're not coming in. I had a friend once whose husband worked in tarmac and she wouldn't let him come in the house. He had to use the shower in the garage and she put all his clean clothes in the garage. And it could be freezing cold, it could be anything, but she wouldn't let him in the house till he took his boots off and everything, yeah. But yeah, but the way you eat, I suppose it's the way you're brought up, isn't it? Maybe they don't have knives and forks. We thought about that, Donna. Maybe they don't have them. They're not in their whatever. Maybe they don't have them. That's why they eat with their fingers, because they don't have a knife and fork. Gosh, babies do that, don't they, all the time? They could if they were rich enough to buy knives and forks, but maybe they're expensive. Maybe they don't have access to plastic ones. You don't know what their lives are like. I mean, my son, when he was little, we had to really try to get him to use a knife and fork. It was always hands in everything. And at first I used to think, well, he's eating. Leave him alone, he's eating, I can wash him. Because he was like, me do. He wouldn't have the fork anywhere, the spoon anywhere near him. It was always, me do. And his hand was in the dinner, and I used to think, well, he's eating. Leave him. Time to train him later. He did eventually learn how to use a knife and fork, obviously. He's 52 now, and he's not eating with his fingers. I have managed to cultivate him. Oh, dear. Well, that coffee had a little drop of the hard stuff in it, so it's making me a little bit flushed. Oh, believe me, he would eat with his hands if he could. I think anybody who works outdoors, they don't wash their hands particularly when they eat. They just eat. Especially if you're in the middle of no place and they got sandwiches or a pasty or something. It just goes in. As my mother would say, you have to eat a peck of dirt before you die. So, whatever. We definitely had the 5-second rule in our house. Well, we have the 10-second rule, we have the minute rule in our house if anything falls on the floor. I mean, I can remember when I was little, you know, if you got an apple when I was a kid, of course they were rationed and people didn't. If you dropped it, my mother would just rinse it under the tap. It was the same with the sweet. Anything you dropped on the floor got rinsed under the tap and given back to you. You know, there was no, it's dirty, put it in the bin. Don't touch it, it's been on the floor. None of that. Just give it here, under the tap. Yeah, I can't do seatbelts. I really can't. Whenever I get in a taxi, I'm like looking for the seatbelt. I used to put my own seatbelt on when I drove, yeah. But you know, yeah, it is the religion, Donna. You will find they eat with the right and toilet with the left. That's why they never use the left hand to eat with, because that's what they use for the toilet. Yeah, one hand is clean, one hand is dirty. And that's the way they eat. Yeah. You've only got to look at any pictures of any third world country, and they all eat with their hands. Yeah. It's just the way they are. Yeah. You know, you're brought up in the Western world, Donna, that, you know, it's against what you believe and what you think to eat. They could use a fork if they thought that, but why would it's like me saying to you, you use your fingers, Donna. You've got fingers, you can use them. You go, oh no, I've always used a fork. They always use their fingers. So just because it offends you because they don't use a fork, you probably offend them because you do use a fork. They think you're weird because they use their fingers. Yeah. It's all relative, isn't it? You know, live and let live. That's my motto. Yeah, that's exactly Munchkin. That's why they always chop the right hand off you. Donna, we will never convince you that it's the way they were brought up. Yeah. You were brought up to use a knife and fork, they weren't. Yeah. Probably half of the world doesn't use a knife and fork. Oh, these don't taste very nice. Got Walker's crisps. See, I'm eating them with my fingers, not with a fork. Donna, you're not going to convince them to use a knife and fork. That's the way they eat. That's their religion. That's their culture. Just because it upsets you, they're not going to start using a knife and fork. Yeah, I eat them with my fingers. I eat French fries with my fingers too. I eat lots of things with my fingers. Cake, biscuits, anything. Chris. Chopsticks have always been beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. As I said before, has anybody heard from Shad? Is he still in his tiny house? Has he got his internet up yet? Anybody heard from him? Yeah, I think we all would like to see Shad's tiny house. Sadly, he's not on Facebook though, is he? So I don't think we're going to see Shad's tiny house. Oh, I wipe my fingers after I've eaten them, Shad. Yeah, I'm not that pleb. I don't like all the salty bits on my fingers afterwards, yeah. Walker's Ready Salted Crisps. or chips if you're American. You see, our chips are not French fries in England. I once almost went back into a cafe. There was two ladies went past me in a very posh cafe wearing fur coats, which were the fashion back then, fur coats and fancy hats. And they both had meringues with a cake fork. I nearly went back in to see how they managed to get a meringue with a cake fork and not all down their fur coat. I nearly went back in. It was almost worth buying another coffee. I used to do that when I was a kid, squash all the packet till it was bits. Are you ever old enough to buy broken crisps? They used to sell them at the shop round the corner from the school I went to. And they were really, really cheap. They were all crushed up little crisp bits, and they were great. You got them for a few pence. It's almost like going in a chip shop when you haven't got any money and you ask them for any scraps. For those of you in the US, when you go in a chip shop around here and ask for scraps, you get the batter bits that have fallen off the fish, and they usually give them you for free. So if you're a bit skint and you want something to eat, you go and ask for scraps, batter bits. And a lot of poor people back in the day used to sort of live off them, because that's if they had no money, they would go and ask for some scraps. And they only used to throw them away at the chip shop because there were bits that fell off the fish. You know, just bits of batter that fell off into the fat. Oh, I think it's sad when little elderly cats and dogs just get... People move house, don't they, and just leave them? I could never do that. You know, if you have a very, very elderly dog that's really, really ill and you cannot take care of it, then at least take it and put it to sleep humanely. You know, but don't just leave it on the street. Yeah, I would. When my son moved to Spain, he took both of his dogs with him. He got passports for them and everything, and they had to have their injections and they had to be seen by vets and everything, but he took them both with him to Spain. Although the Spanish people they don't like big dogs, they didn't like him. He had to have them muzzled when he was in Spain because they don't like big dogs. I've never lived in Greece, but I've been a few times. My favourite, of course, is Skiathos, which everybody knows. That's my favourite. My second home. I would love to go there. But I can't go now because it's so hilly and cobbly. I'd never be able to manage because I don't think any of the hotels are actually flat. They're all up in the hills. Oh, England's beautiful. And Wales is as well. Scotland, I don't know as well. My mum and dad used to have a caravan up in Loch Gilphead, which was near Mull was it, where Paul McCartney used to live. Whose parents? Who are we talking about now, Patricia? Hi, Tammy. Well, every time I went to Scotland, as I say, my mum and dad had a caravan up in Scotland, up by Mullakintyre. And every time I put my nose over the border, it rains. So people who were near me mum said, let us know when your daughter's coming up and we won't bother. Because every time she comes, she brings the rain from Manchester. So maybe I would like Scotland. But when you've seen heather in the rain and you've seen deer in the rain, what have you missed? Not a great deal, really. Don't know what we're talking about. I lost my son in Athens once. He got locked in a toilet in Athens and we thought he was with somebody else. And he wasn't. He was locked in a toilet in Athens. We nearly lost him. I should say we were with a huge party of people and we thought he'd gone off with the rest of the party. So we didn't really bother too much when we couldn't see him. We thought he was with somebody else. Why they are building an extension? An extension to what? Where what? Am I missing something here? I'm missing something. I am missing something here. My son, he would be about 10. He'd gone to the toilet and we didn't know he'd gone to the toilet. We'd been to a restaurant to eat in Athens. Oh, a big party. It was about 40 of us. And my son was always wandering off with other members of the party, other kids and stuff like that. So I just thought he'd gone off with them. It was only when we got back to the coach that we realised he was missing. Oh, panic. When you lose your child in a strange town, strange country. And the coach driver was saying, if you don't find him soon, we're going to have to go without you. And I'm thinking, oh my God, don't speak any Greek. We're stuck in Athens. If we miss the flight home, what do we do? We'd no money because it was back in the day where you didn't have credit cards and stuff. We'd no money to catch a taxi. Oh. Oh dear. I've known a friend whose kid did something similar. Luckily mine never did. Munchkin. Yeah, we eventually found him. Crying his eyes out, saying, you left me. It was a waiter who found him, actually. He was banging on the door of his toilet. And a waiter must have gone to see what the noise was. But instead of saying, where's your mum or whatever, he just let him loose. Anyway, fortunately, we managed to see him in all the crowds right by the Acropolis it was. What is my chocolate today? My chocolate today is Winter Wonderland. It's little Christmas trees. Little Christmas trees. There we go, look. I'm getting festive. Christmas trees in white, Christmas trees in brown. Don't worry, I won't be eating the whole bar. Oh, I thought it would have broke up on the trees and it hasn't. Oh, I don't like pumpkins, Chris. You're welcome to that. Oh, peanut butter. I don't like anything to do with nuts. The thought of peanut butter sandwiches makes me want to heave. I like peanut butter. No, don't like peanut butter. It's like the people who like Marmite and they, oh. No, if it's got peanuts in it, don't like the taste. Oh, it did. It broke off in a tree. Oh, a little tree. Trixie is fast asleep in front of the fire, even though the fire's gone out. I just don't like the taste of nuts. I'm not allergic to them. I just don't like the taste of them. The only nuts that I will eat are the monkey nuts, you know, the ones that you crack open. They are a form of peanut, but they're raw, what you feed the birds. They're not roasted, they're not salted, they're not anything. They're the only nuts I will eat. We call them monkey nuts over here because they're in the shells. Macadamia. No. I don't like any kind of nuts. I just don't like the taste. I don't like the texture. I just don't like nuts. I once started doing a granny square and I kept thinking, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look right. And I realised I only put 3 sides on it. It was a triangle. Instead of a square, it was a triangle. Right, that's it now. I'm not eating anymore. I only allow myself a certain amount of it. Because, as you know, I'm diabetic and I shouldn't be eating it anyway. So I only allow myself a few pieces. Oh, it's very melty, this. Very melty and sticky. That's me done. I watch Crochet Rocks, and she was watching a program on the TV that was saying that some YouTubers are like influencers, you know, for people to diet and have weight issues and stuff. I thought, well, it's the opposite with me. And she was saying the same about herself. It's the opposite with us. We're probably responsible for people putting weight on, not losing it. Hi, Rick. How are you? Just having a drink. It's not a bud. Having a beer, having a bud. I could do some crochet. It's here. Look at that. That was one of my secret Santa gifts from last year. A Harrods bag. That cute. Harrods bag. It got wet through the other day, so I was drying it by the radiator. Oh, good, no drama. I'm so glad about that, Rick. Nice for you to have a drama-less day. Yeah, I think it's really sweet. Somebody made it. It's made a made bag with some fabric that they got. Isn't it cute? Harrods bag. I've been in Harrods once. I must admit the doorman looked at me as if I'd crawled out from under a stone. And I thought I was dressed quite nicely because I was wearing my best outfit, but obviously not posh enough for the doorman of Harrods. He did give me a look as if to say, really, are you coming in here? So I wonder he didn't want to check my credit card at the door, you know. Really rude they are, some of these posh places. Like almost, you know, can you afford to come in? How rude. Oh, you ate a lot of food. You see, we don't have Thanksgiving, so we don't have all this problem. We just eat a lot at Christmas. We eat our turkey. Ooh! I lost my picture. I lost my picture. No, we don't eat, obviously, we don't eat food at Thanksgiving because we don't celebrate. I'm not doing very well with this, am I? No, we have, last year was terrible because we thought we were having 13 people for Christmas and COVID hit and we finished up with just the 3 of us. So it was kind of, thank goodness for freezers. You know, you're playing with your new phone. Woohoo! My phone's rubbish. It's just got this, I don't know, it's a virus or what it's got on it. And it's driving me nutty. I keep getting this message that nobody can move. I've had it to a phone shop and he couldn't find it. It keeps telling me I've got to get permission from an SMS or something. I've been through everything. I've messed about with it and everything, and I still keep getting this daft message. So somebody said I'd have to put it back to factory settings, which I don't want to do because I'd lose everything that's on the phone. So I don't want to do that. So I'll see how I go. Bend it in half. Trust me, it'll be flying soon, yeah. All right. We all eat our own way, Patricia. Hi, Jill. How are you? How's your dad? How's he doing after he's up? Jill's at her dad's because he's had an operation. So, hope he's healing well. And he managed to eat some Thanksgiving dinner, even if you had to mush it up for him. Dee, 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 dee. Oh, yeah. It's good when they do. Man, it's a good job they could do it keyhole, isn't it? And they didn't have to go through all the trauma of a big op. I mean, I'm not being rude, I'm elderly myself, but any big op when you're getting older is a lot more longer to get away over kind of thing, yeah. I need a new hip, but I keep putting it off. I don't want it. My daughter-in-law can't understand why I don't want a new hip. It's just the recuperation, isn't it? You know, I keep thinking as long as I can put up with the pain, I'll put up with it, yeah. I just don't fancy being, you know, weeks and weeks. I know I've got the scooter and I'd be okay. Oh, I'm hip enough, am I? I just keep taking the painkillers and keep going, you fool, you know. If it gets too bad, then I will have it done. But at the moment, I can put up with it. So, you know, there's enough people waiting that are really in serious, serious pain. So I'll let them have theirs first, yeah. You know, with the COVID backlog and everything, they've never caught up, have they? So there must be people that are really in agony, waiting. So I think now I'll let them do it first. It could be that I'm a wimp, but I mean, it could be. Yeah. I know it's wonderful getting old, Jill. You know, wait till you get my age, love. As my mum used to say, every age has got its compensations, but I've yet to find one for old age. I mean, me and my friend, when we were doing the craft fair, I thought we didn't have a good me between us. And she's a lot younger than me. And I thought, my God, between the two of us, we were hopeless. Neither of us could stand long enough to put the stall together. I was doing everything sitting down, and she was nearly as bad. I thought, oh God, you know, there's no hope, is there? But you have to keep going, don't you? Keep going, you fool, keep going. My attitude is it's no good whinging because it doesn't make any difference. You'll be in and out, you're cooking for Daddy. What are you cooking for him today? Come on, tempt us with your culinary expertise. What are you making? I'm going out for my dinner, hopefully tomorrow. I should have gone out on Friday, but, you know, wasn't well. So hopefully when they come back from the Lake District tomorrow, we're going out for something to eat. Oh, you're frying up some fish and chips. That's nice. You're cornering the market with all that, Jill. I don't put down what I've got. It'd be like a lunch menu. Or like the menu, yeah. I know, we went somewhere and he said, like, what medication? Oh, you on? I said, have you got an hour? Oh, I'm not surprised. His wife, I wouldn't let him in the house if he stunk a cow. Yeah, whatever. I try to forget. I don't remember. I mean, at one time when you went for your prescription, they used to give you a piece of paper with it all written on, didn't they? You know, the other half of the prescription. They don't do that. So every time anybody says, what medication are you on? I've got to go get the pills out, write them all down, yeah. Oh, he sounds a bit like me. Everything has to be soft for me. Can't chew these days. I've got no teeth. The teeth I've got are not much cop, yeah. Yeah, back pain, arthritis, spondylitis, high blood pressure. Oh God, we can go on, couldn't we? It's being so cheerful keeps us going, isn't it? You have to laugh, otherwise you would be terribly miserable. And I am not going to spend the rest of my life being miserable for anybody. Let's just say I enjoy my bad health. Oh dear. Hiya, Isaac, how are you doing? How's your mum? How's your mum, Isaac? Is she okay? His mum is a colourful character. I love her. She has her hair dyed all different colours, doesn't she, Isaac? Oh, hi, Isaac's mum. Oh, yeah, there's nothing better than cooking, is there? I don't cook. I would if I had to. And I can cook. But I just don't bother because my daughter-in-law cooks. But I do like plain food. I must admit, I do. I'm a plain food kind of girl, you know. They say English food is boring, but I like boring. I'm not into all these herbs, spices, or as my son calls it, flavour. Yeah. And I always like St. Francis of Assisi, isn't he, with all these birds? My gran used to have a statue of St. Francis of Assisi with his arms out with all these birds all over him. And Isaac reminds me of that, the statuette or whatever it was. Don't know whatever happened to that. You remember it growing up, don't you? And then when my grandma died, my aunt's probably got rid of it. I think it was a bit battered, actually. Oh, the bird lady, yeah, from Home Alone, yeah. Cornbread dressing, giblet, ugh. Ham, green beans, corn, potato salad. Oh, my God, help your belly. God help your belly, Tammy, if you ate all of that. Bless you, snoring, Trixie. Banana pudding, sweet tea. You've been lighting to the bird lady. I always don't call you a bird lady, Isaac. You're a man. Oh, everybody joins the gym, don't they, in January? Just a waste of money, isn't it? Because then they stop going in February. I'm a poor eater. I don't eat much at all. I eat wrong. Hold my hand up. I eat wrong. But I don't eat much. I can't eat a big meal if you paid me. I eat a little bit and then I'm full. Then about 4 hours later, I could eat something else, if you know what I mean. But I cannot sit with a plate full. Even Christmas Day, I can't eat a big plateful. I just, I just feel full, you know, and that's it. When I'm full, I'm full. I used to be able to eat like a horse, but I think as you grow older, you just eat less. But as I say, I am not advocating I'm wonderful and marvelous because I eat the wrong things, yes. But overeating is not one of my problems. Oh, you're off to bed, are you? So what's knitting? Enjoy your sleep, yeah. I won't get much sleep because I'll be sleeping with Trixie Bell, Miss, all night long, yeah. I don't mind eating a little bit of everything. I think that's the best thing to do, Jill. I like going to one of these, you probably have them in America, sort of one of these buffet type places. You pay your money and you go and they give you a certain amount of meat and then you help yourself to all the vegetables. We call them a carvery over here. I like going to them because I get the meat that they give me and then I usually give part of that meat to my son because I know I won't eat it all. So before I even start eating, I usually give him part of it. And then I just help myself to vegetables. So whatever my son overeats, you know, like desperate damn plate, I undereat. So they get they get the money's worth out of me, if you know what I mean, because I don't eat all what I'm paying for. I don't like. I'm not. keen. I don't like liver and onions the way my daughter-in-law cooks it. I used to cook it with tomatoes and onions, and I don't mind it that way because it takes all that out of the liver. Well, my daughter-in-law just cooks liver with onions and gravy, and I just don't like it. My son cooked liver for me one time. He cut it in little ribbons, and I keep asking him to do it again. And he cooked it with onions, and he had brandy in it and cream. Oh, it tasted just like steak Diane. It was absolutely gorgeous. I must ask him to make it again because I just don't like liver the way my daughter-in-law makes it. I really don't. Oh, I love a salad bar. They used to have them in the supermarkets here, but with COVID and one thing and another and people coughing over them, they stopped doing them. And I used to love a salad bar. You get a little container, and then you used to fill it. And they used to charge you by the container. So I used to take them for work. Tesco's near me used to do it, and I used to go and put everything. I loved it from the salad bar. But of course, with COVID, they didn't want people coughing all over them, so they moved everything and they don't have them now. You can get a salad bar, but they do it from behind the counter now, which isn't the same thing. Yeah, I think I'd be more bothered about people coughing and spluttering over my dinners anymore now. Whereas you never gave it a thought before, did you, about people coughing all over it? No, I've never had fried chicken liver, no. Yeah, I used to like the salad bar. I don't like pasta per se, but I used to like the pasta that they used to do, with all the stuff in it, yeah. It weren't just like pasta, was it? Then you could get the potatoes. I love potato salad. All right, Jill, yeah. I love potato salad. I could make a meal out of potato salad. Homemade potato salad. I don't mean the stuff you buy at the supermarket. I like getting new potatoes and making my own. And I love it. There's lots of things I could eat. I could eat cauliflower cheese. Just cauliflower cheese. I can make a meal out of cauliflower cheese. I love it. And I like broccoli cheese as well. In fact, I've got, it's like a ready meal of broccoli cheese in the freezer, which I need to get out and eat. Pasta is something I'm not keen. Not keen on pasta, not keen on rice. I will eat it, but it's not something I go to. And as for mac and cheese, no, I don't. I haven't touched our air fryer came, excuse me, via my granddaughter. So she was buying a new one, so she gave us her older one. And of course, it didn't come with a manual, So I have no idea how you use the damn thing. I mean, it's going, you open the drawer. I need a manual. I need to know what I'm doing with the damn thing, yeah. Hi, Melly, thank you. Oh, she's gone on the sofa now. The fire's gone out, you see, so she's decided to go on the sofa. Yeah, I like vegetables, really. As I say, I can make a meal out of a cauliflower cheese or broccoli cheese. My brother was the same. I'm not that fussed about meat. I'll eat meat, but I'm not that fussed if I don't eat it. I'm not a vegetarian by any stretch of the imagination, but I like eggs and stuff like that, like scrambled eggs and poached eggs and things like that. And I absolutely love ratatouille. Oh, homemade ratatouille. That's, oh gosh, to die for that. But as I say, I don't mind vegetables and I love sprouts. I must be the only person that I know who absolutely loves sprouts. My sister in law used to make them with bits of crunchy bacon and garlic in the sprouts. Oh, they were nice. Sadly, she doesn't do the Christmas dinner anymore, bless her, because she's 83 and she's in the process of moving to London. So everything in her house is packed up. So I don't go there for Christmas dinner anymore. No, it's just, I don't think you can see it. Ah, I nearly dropped my camera. Can you see it there? It's just a hole in the wall with a flue going straight up. The chimney was already there when we moved here because they had a gas fire. Oh, I love sprouts. I mean, they're no good if you boil them to bits, are they? But my daughter-in-law, she will cook them when they're crunchy. And my son's like, they're a la dente. And I'm like, no, they're raw. They're raw. I like my sprouts to be soft. You know, please leave mine in a bit longer, please. I don't like crunchy carrots. I just don't. No, the flue was here. Obviously, we had it swept because it had had a gas fire in previously. But when we had the log fire fitted when we moved here, we had the chimney swept. In fact, I think it needs sweeping again. Um, yeah, I gave my ex-husband sprouts one time, and he said, what are these little cabbages? Yeah, yeah. The stove came later. It was a gas fire when we first moved in. That wasn't very much good actually. It worked when it felt like it. It was quite dangerous, so we had it took out. Oh, I love stuffing as well. Homemade stuffing. My mum was the stuffing queen. But no, not with chestnuts and all that rubbish, no. And please don't give me cranberries with me turkey. Cranberries do not belong with turkey. No. My my sister-in-law used to get cranberries and put them on the table every year, and nobody had them on here. She was the only person who used to put cranberries on a turkey. I don't know why she bothered. She could have bought a tin or a jar or something because nobody else wanted it. And she used to make it all herself and everything. Oh, what are you doing, Rosie? What are you doing, darling? What are you doing, sweetie pie? Eh? Oh, good girl. Yeah, my mum used to do just ordinary sage and onion stuffing. Avocado, I will only drink it in a snowball, yeah. But I don't really care for it. I wouldn't buy it anymore. But I have drunk it. When I was a kiddie, that was what my mum would allow me to have, a snowball. It was avocado with mostly lemonade, yeah. And that was like a treat when I was a teenager. That and what was it, a baby sham? Yeah. I was allowed one baby sham at Christmas. I've never been, well, I say I've never been much of a drinker. I did go through a phase where I drank like a fish when I was in my 30s, but that was because of my marriage circumstances. But since then, um, no, I don't drink. Well, I actually had a little drop of rum in my coffee today, but I don't really drink as a whole. So I will get some drink in for Christmas because I like to have it in case anybody calls, and at least you can offer, you know. And it usually lasts me all year. I'll buy a bottle of rum, I'll buy a bottle of brandy or something like that, and it'll last me all year. All right, Patricia, we'll see you later. Hope to see you next week, yeah? Yeah, my alcohol, unless the family get to it, of course, which I have to. I'm going to start hiding it, to be quite truthful, when I bought it for Christmas, because otherwise it won't stay there. I'm going to bring it in here and shove it in my cupboard. Because I like a drink every now and again. I like to have it there in case I want it. But I don't want to drink it if you doesn't it sound a bit daft. But I like it there in case I want it. But when I think, oh, I'll have a drink, I go and it's gone because somebody's drunk it. So I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to start putting it in here when I buy it. Away from the marauding masses, yeah. I mean, they probably offer it to people that come calling, you know. I'm not saying they drink it all themselves, but I will put it in here for the time being when I get it. Yeah, it won't be so much like hiding it, Nathan. It'll just be putting it in here where I know where it is. So if I want a drink, I can have a drink. As I say, I did get a bottle of rum the other day. So I'll start building it up. I'll get a bottle of brandy next. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll get a bottle of vodka. I don't know. Oh, I don't lock it away. I just move it out of the way. All our alcohol is in one place, you see, theirs and mine. So that's why I shall be moving it. I always had a bottle of everything, you know. I used to get the Tia Maria, I used to get all kinds of stuff, and it was always there. And, you know, the Southern Comfort and everything, because people used to call, you know, when I lived on my own, and I would offer them a drink, yeah. I'm not a dinner wine person, Nathan. I'm not a wine. Oh, and I don't like Cherry B. That's really sickly, isn't it? No, I like Southern Comfort. I like, you know, things like that. I like Jack Daniels, yeah. I'm not much of a lover of whiskey unless I've got a cold, yeah. But I just like them there in case I want a drink. Does that sound? I might only have a drink once a month, but I like to know I've got a choice, yeah. I like to know it's there. Vodka, that is mine. Daughter-in-law's drink is vodka, so I know if I buy that, that'll be gone. So I don't usually bother with the vodka. And I don't drink gin. That makes me cry. I don't know why. I don't drink much alcohol, but I'm not teetotal, Nathan. I was teetotal for a long, long time after I had the problem with drinking. I didn't drink for about 6, 7 years after I had a problem with it. And even now, I will not put the bottle near me. It's always in the cupboard. And if I'd go, I will pour myself one drink, put the bottle back in the cupboard. I never bring the bottle out and put it next to me. Never. Because that's what I used to do. When I was drinking, I used to have the bottle. And it's so easy to just keep pouring yourself another one, pouring yourself another one. I don't know what my daughter-in-law puts in her vodka, yeah. Yeah, they sell alcohol in most of the supermarkets here. They have a curfew time. I think it was 10 o'clock in the supermarkets. They won't sell it after 10 o'clock at night. We don't have the all-night liquor licenses like they do in some parts of America. You know, if you're not in the store by 10 o'clock and through the till, They won't let you buy it. I think it's 10 o'clock. You know, because sometimes at Christmas people used to get really, really angry because, of course, the tills would be queued out, queued out, queued out. And by the time they got to the till, it would be past 10 o'clock because they'd been in the queue that long. And then we used to have mega, mega rows, you know. I stood in the queue. It was 9:30 when I stood in this queue, so I want to check my alcohol. And the tills would not let you put alcohol through after 10 o'clock. The tills would literally shut. And they wouldn't, yeah. No, there's no difference here. You cannot buy alcohol past a certain time here. I think it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, but the tills, like I used to work at Asda Walmart part time. I had my own job during the day. I mean, I used to hustle. It's no wonder I've got a bad back. I used to do over 60, 70 hours a week. I was saving up to get central heating put in and I didn't have any money. So I went working part time at Asda Walmart as well as my day job. So I was working like 9 to 5 and then working 6 to 10 at Asda Walmart. So that's the tills used to lock down. They wouldn't let you put any spirits through after 10. They just wouldn't. Yeah, they do that. They put shutters down. In our case, they used to put barriers across the aisles so you couldn't go down the aisles. Oh, there used to be rows upon rows, people coming in like, it's only 5 to 10 with my watch, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they only sell liquor. No, they sell it. Well, it has to be a licensed shop to sell it. It's not just any old corner shop can't sell it. You've got to have a liquor license. And, you know, if it's a pub and there's fighting or they're rowdy or whatever, they can take the license away from them. And therefore the pub has to close because, um, you know, there's been rowdiness or drunkenness or after hour drinking. A lot of places do illegal, what you call shut ins. In other words, they close the door of the pub and the regulars are still in there buying drinks even though it's illegal. They're what they call a shut in. But if, you know, the police come past and see you selling, you know, they try to get away with it by saying it's a private party and nobody's actually buying anything and the landlord is giving it for free. And if you believe that, you'll knit fog, you know. Clubs have licenses until about 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, a club, but not an ordinary pub. Sometimes they'll get a special license if it's like New Year's Eve or something like that, that people can drink. But I think the last orders then is probably midnight or something like that. They have what they call a late liquor license, yeah. Yeah, I do like ouzo, I must admit. There's ouzo and there's one that's very much like ouzo. No, we've not got to the drive-through liquor stores yet. We don't have drive-through chemists. We only have drive-through fast foods. Yeah, that's all we have in the UK. We don't have drive-through alcohol places. We don't have drive-through chemists or pharmacists. We don't have drive-through anything like that. You have to get out and walk. I think it's only fast food, really, like places like McDonald's and that you drive through. Yeah, we don't have things like that. I mean, a friend that I used to speak to in America, I mean, she must have been about £600. She didn't walk anywhere. She drove through everything you care to mention. She never cooked. Everything she bought was like, fast food that got delivered to the door. And I used to think, oh my God, she was only in her 30s. I thought she's going to be dead before she gets any older. No, she never walked anywhere. Anywhere at all, she never walked. I swear she would have drove through school if she could have picked him up without having to park in the car park. I used to say to her, will you get off that settee and do something? She sat on the settee. All she wanted to do was talk to me all day. I had to stop because, she would have killed herself. Yeah, order the food and then drive up and, to the supermarket and don't even go in and choose your own stuff. And they bring it out and put it in your car for you. I thought, oh my God. America's got to use the use of their legs shortly. No, we don't have that here. People do walk. Yeah. You can park nearby, but you have to walk. I mean, I was amazed. I went past the high school the other day. When you think that, the people that are there are like teenagers up to the age of, 16, 17. And the cars that were outside waiting for them to come out. And I'm like, have they got no legs, these kids? When I was at senior school, you might get the odd car if my parents were passing by and they'd been somewhere and it was, school finishing time, they would actually wait for me. But it was a surprise, it wasn't like they were there. My dad never took me to school unless it was absolutely throwing it down. Occasionally he would get the car out and take me down if it was raining so hard. But it wasn't like the dumb thing. It was like, get your brolly, put your wellies on, get your brolly, get going, ta-ra, you're off. But today's kids, I'm sure they must, honestly, they will use the use of their legs, they will. They're going to be running around on wheels before they get 40. Hey. I mean, I know I've got a scooter. That's only because I can't walk. Well, I can walk, but I can't walk far. I mean, I walk in the shops. I do manage to do that if I'm holding the trolley. But I couldn't walk to Fleetwood or Cleveland. I wish I could. I wish I could. If I could, I would do it. I wouldn't ride everywhere. I used to love going for a walk with the dog. Going into the woodland and taking him down to the stream, letting him play in the stream. He used to run down there and submerge. He was like a hippopotamus. You could see his nostrils and his eyes because he used to go in. And people used to laugh and used to say, is that your dog down there? I say, yep, that's my dog. He used to go down there. He used to love it. Oops, I've crocheted my ending when I shouldn't have done. Oh, there it is. I've got it. How can you have a drive-through funeral? Drive-through bank? No, we've got none of those. Oh, we've got none of those, Chris. We haven't got any. Drive-through library? How can you choose a book when you're driving through? No, I can honestly say we have None of those in the UK. All we have is drive-through like McDonald's or maybe KFC. I don't know. Hello, Mrs. Yukon Cornelius. Hello there. You ate some cake. Well, you've got to eat cake at a birthday party. I didn't have any cake at mine. Well, I was ill, so I wouldn't have thanked anybody to get me a cake. Oh, gosh. Why do you have drive-through things like that? How can you have a drive-through funeral? What do? Chuck your beloved off? Chuck him out and, you know. We are gathered here. Right, off you go. You're done. Drive through cremation, take the funeral car through. Burn the car as well. It's sad. It is sad, Rick. It is really that people are using the use of their legs by driving everywhere. It's pathetic. Yeah, drive through funeral. Oh gosh, no. I wouldn't want my beloveds to chuck me out of a box in a drive-through funeral. I want them to cry and put flowers and everybody come to church. My son said to me, "Do you want one of those where they take you and then they send you your ashes back?" I went, "No, don't want one of them." He said, "Well, what are you paying for a big funeral for?" I said, "Because I want my friends to come. I want them to say their final farewells to me. I don't want them being told by an email, oh, by the way, Jan's passed away and her ashes are here if you want to." No, I want a funeral. Old-fashioned or not, I want a funeral. Even if nobody comes, I want a funeral. It might only be being the vicar, but I don't care. Well, it's not the vicar these days, is it? It's these cremation homes and stuff. Coffee's $10. Whew. So you're coming with that, don't you? Oh, I want a funeral. I want people to cry over me. I'm very selfish. It'll be a cremation because there's nowhere to get buried these days, is there? I want all my friends to come, if I've still got any left alive. I want somebody to say a few words over me coffee and everybody to cry and say they're going to miss me and all that jazz, yeah. Oh, the sexy barista tried. What they do, hang over you with the boobies hanging out and you pay $10 for a coffee. I'm sure somebody else would take over. I'm not planning on going anywhere soon. That's one thing for sure, Munchkin. She serves coffee wearing revealing clothes. Well, anybody could do that, couldn't they? But whether you'd want them to or not, I don't know. I'm sure they wouldn't want me serving them coffee in revealing clothes. They'd probably give me $10 to put my clothes back on again. Oh, Greek dad. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd like a party. A party for my funeral, everybody wearing boho. Stuff like that, yeah. What am I working at? I'm trying my hardest to make one of those. I lost the will to live with it, to be quite honest. It's one of those, you make a six-sided hexagon and it turns into a jacket. It's like half of a jacket, if you know what I mean. It's not my colours at all, so I probably won't keep it. And knowing me, I'll never sell it, so hey, ho, it might finish up in my wardrobe. I keep looking at the things I've got for sale and keep thinking, well, if they don't sell, they're going in my wardrobe, yeah. Yeah, you don't know where she's been near it, you know what I mean? Oh, it probably won't be finished for Christmas the way I keep going off it. I'll probably still be doing this in January. I don't know why I'm making it because I know it won't sell if I put it to be sold, but hey ho. But you have to do something, don't you? I'm supposed to be making a yellow headband and fingerless mittens for a friend. But I'll only get the price of the wool for that, so it's not exactly spurring me on. She goes, oh, I can get you some orders. I thought, don't bother, because I'm making nothing on them. You know, for the price of the wool, for the, you know, the headband and the mittens, I can't sell them. You know, I was only selling them cheap at the craft fair because I was using up oddments. But if people start wanting a certain colour and I have to go and buy it, it's different. And I was trying to explain that to her. If I don't have the colouring oddments, you know, it will have to be a higher price because I've got to go and buy a couple of balls of wool, you know. So, so I hope she doesn't get me any orders. I'm not in the process really of orders. I don't want orders. I just want to sell what I've got and end of story. And then just crochet things as I want to and when I want to. I'll probably do another sale actually, you know, some wool. Well, yarn, as you call it in America. Out of the shed, you know, and get rid of some more. Because I know I'll never crochet all of that. So I didn't make any money on, you know, selling the wool on eBay. I sold it for less than what I'd paid for it, but hey ho, it got rid of it out of the shed, didn't it? So oh, your other children came. Cass hasn't been on tonight, has she? She must be working. She must be working tomorrow. When she has to go in early on a Sunday, she doesn't always come on. Yeah, I wish I could get enthusiastic about crocheting something, but I'm not really. I've got all that other yarn that I could, you know, make into shawls. But then again, I might sell it because the lady who was selling it in the first place was only selling it in bundles of like 5, whereas somebody maybe only wants to buy 1, you know. So, you know, I might put some of that back on eBay, just selling 1. Yeah. So, because I bought it in like 5 at a time. I'm not in the mood for making a load of shawls. I've got a few that I haven't sold, so we'll see how we go. If they don't sell, then I'll just put the wool on eBay and sell it. I'm not going to store it in my shed to keep it for weeks and weeks and months and years. My shed's all neat. I've no room to put more stuff in it. I've just got it neat. It's neat and tidy, and I know where everything is. So I'm going to look at it with like Marie Kondo eyes do you really, really like this yarn? Are you really, really going to use this yarn? And if you're not, why don't you sell it? So that's what I'm going to be doing. But it's been raining so hard. I've just not wanted to go in the shed because it's cold. I can put the heater on when I get in there, but it takes ages to warm up. So I don't want to go in there and spend a lot of time. But once I've finished the craft shows, I might go in and, do another cull of the. So if you're in the UK, I'll let you know when I'm putting any wool on, just in case you happen to like anything I've got. But it won't be ice yarn. People keep saying, "Are you going to sell that lovely ice yarn?" Like, no. All the things except the ice yarn. Other things I can replace, but not the ice yarn. Especially the pretty, pretty rainbow stuff. That is staying. That I am being mean about. That is going nowhere. And that's what everybody wants me to sell. But I'm not. It would cost me far too much to replace it, as you know, with all the VAT and the import duties and the postage and stuff. And everybody's saying, oh, they sell it on eBay. Yeah, they do, but they don't sell what I want. They sell all the rubbishy stuff that nobody wants on eBay. Apart from mine, of course. But the ice yarn that they sell on eBay is always, people have bought it, don't like it, and put it on eBay. I mean, I gave away piles of ice yarn when it used to come because it looked beautiful on paper and it looked beautiful on the screen. And when it come, it was either scratchy, rough. I mean, Sue was as bad. We used to share postage sometimes and do an order between us, so that we'd get it. And then when it come, we were like, oh, don't like this. Yeah, it's definitely excess inventory I've got in my shed. I've come to the conclusion, especially now I'm not crocheting to order and stuff like that I've got far too much that I will ever use in my lifetime. So I may as well just get rid of some of it. Oh, I can sit in the conservatory, but I don't. He doesn't want me to put any wool and stuff in there. I'm going to actually ask him to bring my sewing machine and put it in there. Not permanently, but I've got so many things that need stitching. And I'm not going in the shed to stitch them. It's too cold. So I want to pack away my summer dresses and put them away for the summer, but half of them are too long. So I want to sew them up so that they're ready for next summer and I don't have to start shortening them next summer. Yeah. I've got 2 new pairs of trousers that I think they're meant for giraffe legs, but I haven't been able to wear because they're way too long. And I'm not going to hand sew all my dresses up and all my everything I've got that's too long. I'm not hand sewing it. So I'm going to ask him to get the sewing machine out when he comes back. And I think my daughter-in-law actually wants we're going to get a door curtain because we've got a draft coming through one of the doors. So for the winter, we're going to get a door curtain. So she may want the sewing machine to do that with. She did buy a curtain, but it was too short, so we shall see. We shall get a new curtain. We need a patio curtain, really. I'm sure there must be some on one of these, sites that they sell, marketplace and stuff like that sell cheaper. I bet we get a grey one. I bet it's grey. Oh, she'll buy the curtain ready done, I think. It's just the one she bought or got isn't long enough. It doesn't reach the floor. So we need a long, long one like that I've got in my bedroom. They're really long. In fact, they're too long, to be quite honest, but it doesn't matter that the strip's on the carpet. We haven't got room to put a door. The kitchen hasn't got a door. And we haven't got room to put a door. But it's cold and it's letting cold air in. So we're going to put a curtain so that the dogs can get in and out when they want to get to their drinks of water and stuff. And I mean, I'd like a curtain on this. The front door is all glass with a big glass window. I'd like a curtain on there. You know, a pair of patio curtains would be great over there. But we got rid of the patio curtains that we had here. But of course, they were, when I say patio, I mean conservatory doors. Yeah, well, it will be a long curtain, won't it? Because it's the full length of a door. I don't know how much it measures. I haven't measured it. I used to have them at the other house in the winter because I had a glass front door at one stage. And it was blooming cold in the winter, that glass front door. Even though it was double glazed, it was still cold. So I used to have a big velvet curtain that went across in the winter. And it did make it really nice and cosy. It's what people are going to have to do these days, isn't it? With, you know, the cost of all the electric and that. You're going to have to, you know, try to sort of do as much insulation as you possibly can. I said to my son, we need that in the conservatory. We need a curtain in there, you know, for the winter. You know, to go across the doorway. Because my bedroom opens out onto the conservatory, so it's cold in there. It's cold in my bedroom. I mean, these curtains are double lined, you know. They're absolutely snuggy. They've got double lining on them. They're nice snuggy curtains. I mean, they cost me a bomb. But they're nice snuggy curtains. But it's what you have to do, isn't it, these days? My bedroom curtains are the same. They're really thick. I don't like flimsy curtains. I like blackout blinds. Daylight does not come through these curtains. Trust me on that. And it's amazing when I draw them at night. It is so much warmer in here when I draw the curtains at night. I don't know where the dogs are. Oh, there's one. I don't know where Rosie is. Rosie's vanished somewhere. She'll be around. She can't get upstairs. Well, if you put a runner over the top of the door, you can get those that are like a pole thing, you know, that they're not permanent, if you're with me. They're like on a tension, you know. That's what I've got my nets on. I don't like nets, but I've got nets on my bedroom window because it goes into the conservatory. So when I've drawn my big curtains back, I like the nets there for privacy. They're on one of those spring things, yeah. So you could get one of those. You put it into the door frame. People can come in. How many people come in, Jane? Once you'll settle down for the night, how many people come in? I mean, nobody used to call to me at night time unless I was expecting them, yeah. So I used to I had a big thick velvet curtain I used to put across the front door. And it went right down past the floor, so it covered the draft that came through the door at the bottom. It was massive. It was great. Sorry, I got rid of it now. But I had a porch built, and that took the cold off the front door, if you know what I mean, because it was like a double set of doors, wasn't it? So that made a big difference to the warmth. Before, my front door was like to the outside, but then I had a porch built, so I had 2 doors to come through to get into the house. But it did make it a heck of a lot warmer. Well, there you are, nobody calls. Put the curtain across. That would discourage anybody from coming anyway if they fight their way through the curtain. Yeah, everybody used to have them. Because everybody's front doors used to go straight out onto the street, didn't they? And not everybody had a hallway. You know, sometimes the front doors went straight into the front room and it was blooming cold, I tell you. My old house had a hall, which was a laugh hall. It was like a square you stepped into. The stairs were there and the door was there. And yet they laughingly described it as a hall. You know, it wasn't a hallway at all. It was a step in. I don't know where Rosie is. It's worrying when I can't find her. I mean, she's clean, don't get me wrong. She's not a dirty girl. Yeah, you can't beat a good thermal curtain. I'm lovely and cosy in my bed now because I swapped my duvet for my winter duvet. And I swapped me, what do you call it, my throw thing. I swapped it for a big fleecy one. These, some people call them a campfire cardigan and some people call them a hexagon cardigan. There's loads of free tutorials on YouTube. Yeah, everybody used to have curtains across the doorway. Well, nobody had central heating back in the day, did they? Everybody had to keep as warm as they possibly could. So everybody had door curtains, especially in the winter. You know, because when I lived in a 2 up, 2 down, the door was straight onto the street. You know, you went straight from the front door straight outside. So when you opened the front door, there was a blooming gale used to blow straight into your lounge, if you know what I mean, straight into your front room. Because, you know, there was no hallway. It wasn't big enough. It was just a tiny little 2 up, 2 down I lived in. So you had to have a door curtain, otherwise it'd freeze. Yeah, well, you can't blame them, can you, putting curtains on? It wouldn't work on ours because we've got open banisters, so you'd still get the draft coming down. It isn't so bad for them because they've got doors on the bedroom and doors on the lounge upstairs, so they shut those two, you know, if they don't get the cold. I mean, if I didn't have the dogs here, I would close that door, you know, to the hall. I would close that door, but I have that door because my door there is next to the front door, and I get the cold from the front door. But as I say, if it wasn't for the dogs, I would close that door. But I've got the doggies. Yeah. Because of the doggies, I won't be staying on that long tonight because I won't get much sleep and it's actually raining and I've got to put the dogs outside for their nightly wonders, if you know what I mean. Potty time, yeah. Not that it'll stop Miss Trixie. Miss Trixie needs a nappy. She's a pain in the, yeah, proverbial. Rosie isn't. Rosie's as clean as can be. Rosie will never have an accident. She will tell you. She will whine, she will cry, she will go to the back door. So I never have any trouble with Rosie, but this one. And she's 1. She's gone past 1 now. She was 1 last Sunday. Was it Saturday? Saturday or Sunday she was 1. So she should be wearing her big girl. She's snoring her head off now. I'm going to have a lovely night with her, aren't I? Miss Snory Betty. She'll have me up about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's why I'm going to cut it short on here. I'm not going to be here till. Oh yeah, it's high fences, Jane. They can't get out. We've got a locked gate at the front and high fencing all the way around, so they can't get anywhere. Very secure garden. So I'm lucky, really. I've always had a secure garden, even when my son was small. You know, he couldn't get out at all. You know, I could safely leave him playing in the garden. I never had to be, you know, on guard the whole time because he could never get out. So I've always been lucky that way, really. I could always let him play. I feel sorry for people who don't have anywhere, you know, for their children to play. It was a bit tricky though, because the garden used to slope, so he could never have anything. Like playing a game of football used to be awkward because the lawn used to slope. And even when we put his paddling pool out, his paddling pool used to be on a slope, so he'd have like a deep end and a shallow end. As I say, when he wanted to play, he wanted to have a tent at one time, you know. I mean, obviously we didn't let him stay out in it all night when he was little. But we bought him a little cheapy tent. And he could say, oh, it's slanting, it's sloping. I want his tent to be straight. Of course, his tent was like that. He didn't sleep in it. He used to play with his friends in and out of the tent. And they used to have a picnic in there and have a good time, you know. But we would never let them sleep out there because even though it was fenced in, I just didn't feel secure leaving him in there. You know, because I would have had to leave the back door open for him to come to the toilet and things. So he was never allowed to sleep. I think we did let him sleep once or twice when he was older, but I used to stay downstairs. I wouldn't go to bed. I used to sleep on the sofa. My ex-husband thought I was crazy. You know, oh, leave them, they'll be fine. But no. I was a super vigilant mother. I used to sleep on the sofa if they were outside. I mean, obviously he went camping when he was in the cubs. You know, he went with the cubs, but they were being looked after by you know, the cub master and cub mistress. I think they had lady and men cub leaders, yeah. But he never actually camped out until he was a teenager, when he used to go with his friends. I mean, an older teenager, I don't mean a young teenager. But he was never one for camping, actually. He wasn't very fond of it. He used to go to the caravan with my mum and dad, take his friend with him. You're a helicopter mum, a hoverer. I was never quite that bad, but don't forget it was a different era. When my son was younger, it was a different era. Children were a lot safer than what they are now. You know, kids didn't carry knives and stuff like that. I mean, there must have been paedophiles, but we didn't know about them the same. So, you know, I used to feel fairly secure with my son. I wouldn't be the same now if I had little ones now. But times are different, aren't they, these days? Sad. I mean, my son had a really happy childhood in the fact that, you know, he could go where he wanted and do what he wanted. We didn't have the fear. Oh, God, we can't let him go out. Oh, my God, we can't let him do this. We never had that fear, you know. I mean, when I was a kid, my goodness me, we could go anywhere. I feel sad that the children don't have the kind of childhood that I had, you know. I used to go off wandering off and anywhere. I wasn't usually on my own unless I was going to my grandma's. And then I had to walk down past everything on my own and walk through fields of cows and that on my own. But you just didn't think that way. I think my mum was more worried about a cow trampling all over me. I remember getting shouted at one time because I was walking through this field on the footpath, and the farmers yelling at me. But apparently there was cows in there with baby calves, and they get very, how can I put it, defensive over their cows, and they can charge at you if you're walking across, minding your own business. And I couldn't understand it because it was a pathway I'd always used to go to my grandma's, and he was going, get out, get out. There's cows in here. And I'm like, yeah, so what? There's cows. And then another time he got the bull in there that was with the cows. So he made me get out again, told me to get out of the field. But it made it awkward because that was the shortcut to my grandma's. If I came out of the field, I had to go all the way down and all the way around. And you found what I made 2 years ago. I probably still got it. I've just changed colour again. I've gone on the dark colour now. I should be getting ready for splitting this, actually. I don't want it to be too big. I don't want the sleeves to be too wide. I'll stop when I go around the end of this row. Trixie is snoring her little head off. Oh, I'm so tired. When I get to the end of this round, I'm going to be going. I don't know how far I've got to go. Quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit further round. I don't like leaving it in the middle of a round. I like to finish on a round if I can. It's bedtime for you. It's bedtime for me as well, Isaac, to be quite truthful, because I've got the doggies to look after. Got the doggos. Oh, it's raining. I can hear it. In fact, I think I will not bother going all the way. I've got quite a bit to go around to find the end of the row. Oh, gosh, yeah. I've got more to go around, and I thought, I shall think I'm going to. You're cleaning as you try and decorate. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be going to bed. It's 11:45, so it's getting near my bedtime now. I've got to the dark colour. Right, I've got to put everything away, otherwise it will be all around the garden by tomorrow. Because you know what my doggies are like, if you see anything woolly, they have to go and drag it round the garden. Rosie's a demon. Yeah, I'm going to bed myself as well, Jane, when I've seen to the doggies. Let them out for the nightly constitutional. And that's where I'm going to be going to bed. I'm actually a bit hungry because it was hours since I had my tea, so I might have a little piece of toast for bed. Right, good night, everybody. Excuse me, I've got an itchy nose. I'm not picking my nose, actually, it's itchy. Good night, everybody. Thank you all for your company. Thanks for all your good wishes for me for my birthday. So, you're making tartar sauce to go with your fish. Good, good. Right, okie dokie. I'll say good night to you all, and I will see you all later in the week. Hopefully, I might have some crochet to show you. Instead of being so boring, yeah. At least I could tell you about my meal, couldn't I? And I could try filming with my new camera. Woo! Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night.